Hey, everybody, it is March 3rd, Good Friday, and also the start of spring break for a lot of different people. Talked to a few different people, and they had some challenges getting out of Grand Rapids Airport. So hopefully, everybody arrives at their destination of the sunny South area safe and sound. Yesterday was really cool. The Artemis II rocket launched with astronauts who will be going to the moon, circling the moon, since the first time since the early 70s, believe it or not. I actually grew up and I remember some of the rocket launches. It's pretty cool. I used to watch it with my parents and grandparents. Um, so we got the much anticipated, never really truly believed BLS jobs report. Let's break that down here today. So non-farm payrolls rose by an unexpected to the top side 178,000 for March. That's a reversal from the negative 133 decline we had in February. Pretty big swing from month to month. Now the estimate was 59,000, so a triple of what the market was planning on. Now when we look at revisions, a little bit of a surprise there. February was revised down by 41,000. Not a huge surprise, but January, pretty big surprise here. That was revised upwards by 34,000. We were expecting another negative revision to January because it was a pretty positive report. We thought it was a little bit inflated. Unemployment rate edged lower to 4.3%. But the main thing why it went down was actually a negative. We saw a sharp reduction in labor force. So labor force participation actually does have a significant effect on the unemployment rate. Now, keep in mind that's the U3 unemployment rate, not the all-in, which we'll talk about in a minute. Now, healthcare, once again, was responsible for the lion's share of the growth, with that sector adding 76,000 jobs. On its surface, that sounds huge, but let's understand why we had that big spike. It's the reason being is because we had a strike in February in the healthcare sector for Kaiser Permanente in February, which negatively hit that sector. So it was a negative, and then all of a sudden becomes a positive, even though we have the net same number. So, and that's where the BLS really is not great at following. In addition, BLS said ambulatory healthcare services rose by 54,000 jobs, with 35,000 of that came from specifically the strike workers coming back to work. Construction saw an increase of 26,000. Transportation and warehousing posted a net gain of 21,000. To the downside, we saw federal government lose 18,000, and financial activities sector lost 15,000. Now, when we talk about the labor force participation, we actually lost 396,000 in the labor force. That's why that 4.4% on the U3 unemployment was lower than expected. Now, the share of Americans in the workforce, also, as a totality, fell to a reading of 61.9%. It's the lowest since November of 21. Now, that's the headline report. The household survey, where they actually call households, find out information rather than try to extrapolate numbers or come up with formulas to come up with a number. That showed not a positive number for jobs, but a negative 64,000 people. What that did, the U6, that plays into the U6 unemployment, which is the all-in and underemployed. That rose a tenth to 8%, higher than expected. Wages performed less than expected. Average hourly earnings were only up 0.2%. The market was planning on a 0.3. So that brought the year over year to 3.5% for wages. Economists had expected to be around 3% to 3.7%. Average hours worked declined by 0.1, also less than expected. Now, one of the things we're seeing in the market, which is being affected by everything going on in the Middle East, traders seem to be having a premium for puts and a little bit of a discount on calls. So if you're looking at Robinhood and other platforms for trading, you're seeing puts are costing you a little bit more. Calls are costing a little bit less as a percentage. What does this all mean? 10-year yields are up today. We were down the last 2 days. So the 10-year yield rose. It looks like it's up 4 basis points to 4.34. Mortgage-backed securities are down to start the day. Oil is up just a hair under $12, and Brent crude is just a tick over $8 up today. So we're watching this all very carefully. In fact, we had a borrower yesterday get an offer accepted late in the day. We stayed in close communication with them at the end of the day and into the night and got them locked at about 10:45 last night to avoid an increase in potential rate that would be offered today. That's why we're on call. That's why we're on top of the market to help our borrowers get the best deal. Give us a call, 616-293-2189. The Market Update Desk with Scott Riley, your original singular market news source for West Michigan. Have a blessed Easter weekend, everybody.